What up, Grit fam? What's going on? It's Kate McKay, the Grit Girl, going live. I'm excited to be here. What's up, everyone? So today is another day of the Grit Girl, and we're going to be talking about some fitness things, and I'm going to really wanting to delve in today about what is grit? What is it? And how do we have more of it? How do we live in celebration of who we are and who we came here to be, right? Because we all want to be a little bit grittier, right? We all want to have that sense of like, I can do it. I have the confidence that I can do it. And I'm grateful that you're joining me. So I'm Kate McKay, again, the Grit Girl. Thank you so much for coming on again to the Grit Girl. I do this every Monday night at 6 p.m. and talking about all things to do with grit. We're going to talk about fitness. We're going to talk about mindset. And you can ask any questions that you want below because I will be answering them. So hello to all of you joining me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, Eric, Ted. I love it when it's user 3256. I don't even know how to answer those. Donna, hello. Chopper Kid, what's up? George, Toomey, Drew. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful that you guys are here. So let us get on into it. Again, I'm Kate McKay, the Grit Girl. And I'm wanting to say, first of all, thank you for all of you that have joined me, that ask questions. And I actually made a list of things that I want to talk about. But what I want to first, hi Andy. The first thing I want to talk about is something that's really key and essential to grit. And grit doesn't mean that you have no sense of humor. You can have grit and you can have gratitude. You can have grit and you can have joy. You can have grit and you can succeed in all different kinds. That was weird. You guys went away for a minute. So grit doesn't mean that you don't have a sense of humor. And that's the thing that I think it's really important to think about. Is because a lot of people who hear the word grit, they're like, oh, it just means that you're just always David Gogginsing. And that's not the case. Grit just means that you have the fortitude to continue. You have the fortitude when life knocks you down, because life does knock us down. We do get battered around a bit. But if we believe in ourselves and we believe that we're here for more and we have a connection to or a longing to something more, then why not? I know. You know what, Jack and Carl? I was wondering about that. I'm not sure this app is going to be gone, but you don't know. My bet is that someone's going to buy TikTok and we're all just going to be, it's just a little bit crazy, right? But that's what I mean. That's a great question, a great way to talk about grit, because it's we still got to persevere. And that means I'm going to pivot and I'm going to go over to school or I'm going to go to Facebook or whatever else. But I'm still going to do Grit Girl somewhere, some way. If you're new here to this channel, the first time you've ever seen me, I'm Kate McKay. Please subscribe. Please follow me so I can follow you, so we can join each other, because community really is the key. We're only as good as the community that we have. So I just was talking about the importance of what grit is about and why it's so key. And one of the things that I want to talk about was, what is grit? What is it? And they did this really fascinating study, and this woman that wrote this book called Grit. And she went and they did a research on a bunch of people that went to West Point. West Point's that military school. And they had the best of the best at West Point, the best athletes, the smartest, the creme de la creme, the best of the best goes to West Point. And they were after the summer, they had their boot camp summer, and they lost a whole bunch of people. 80% of the people stayed, but they lost 20%. Well, what happened? Well, just because you're a great athlete, just because you do really well in school, just because you're big in your community, doesn't mean you're gritty. It doesn't. Grit has nothing to do with those things. It may have something to do with it, but not everything. Because grit is something that we can have even if we aren't the star of the show. And what I want to share with you is that I was never super smart in school. I was Miss B-. And I remember I'm a best-selling author. I've written 4 books. I'm working on my next one, but I got a D- in composition in 11th grade. A D-, not a B, D-. Thank you, Mrs. Macbeth. D-. And I was like pissed. Because when something bad happens to you, like literally, I got a D-. And I could have easily said, I'm never going to write. I suck. Forget about it. I'm just going to get high and drunk and just throw it away. I was like, no, I'm going to improve. Even when life knocks you down. That's gritty. And you may not experience it. You may not feel it, but you can grow it. Grit can be built, just like muscles. All right? And if any of you guys joining me are not into exercise, if fitness isn't your thing, I'm your girl, because I'm going to help you. If you have any questions, just ask me and I'd be happy to answer any fitness questions you have, because it's my thing. But reason why I talk about fitness too is because, listen, the bottom line is this. We can only build grit through certain ways. One of them is we persevere through hard things. And you know what's really good to help us persevere through hard things? Lifting weights, doing fitness, doing things that are hard. Because you have to do set upon set upon set, rep upon rep upon rep, and you have to shade the doorway. You have to go into that place to do the work, right? Does that make sense to all of you? So I would highly recommend, if any of you are on and you're listening to me and you're part of your time here with me, if fitness isn't your thing, try it out. I'll be happy to share some fitness routines with you, but you can just do the basics. Just shade the doorway and get in there. Because this is a really easy way to build grit. It really, really is. Because you have to show up for you. And that's, I think, fundamental. It's fundamental why it's so key. So, okay. So that's that. And so let's just talk. I have a couple questions because a couple people reached out to me after. And one of the questions that I had that I thought was kind of cool was, how do you stay motivated when you don't feel like it? How do you stay motivated when you just don't feel like it? I feel like that a lot. Like today, I didn't get my workout in. I have to do it after this. Am I going to feel like it after I do Grit Girl Live? No, I'm not gonna. Is there roaches at the gym? No, there's no roaches. Cool sunglasses. Yeah, I got some cool sunglasses. I got some blue ones, which I love. So how do you stay motivated? So the hardest part really is showing up. That's hard. It's hard to show up when you don't feel like it. But sometimes, and I would say often, you're going to have to do things that you don't feel like. You have to show up anyway. You just have to do it. You're not going to feel like it. I don't feel like it. Too bad. You got to show up because the end result is you're going to feel way better after. Thanks for the follow, you guys. Follow me so we can join forces and be gritty and stronger together. So motivation isn't always reliable. And I've been known for to be the motivator. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. But really, I want to be more than just motivated. I want us to be inspired by each other and transform together. So that's what I would like to say to you is that motivation is going to get you started, but it's not keen to keep you going. You really need discipline. And a lot of people, I hate that word discipline. Well, guess what? It's your secret sauce to success. Discipline's the key. And you can still have fun even when you're disciplined. You can still have fun even if you're showing up consistently. And people want variety. You want change. You want things to be a little different every day. Well, you can. You can still have that. But you still need to have certain habits that are consistent. Does that make sense? For me, it's the gym. For me, it's also writing because I'm writing a new book. So some tips on how you can get into the gym even when you don't feel like it. Put on your workout clothes. I'll wear workout clothes. Right now, I have workout clothes on because I know if I had regular clothes on, I wouldn't go to the gym. I'd be like, I'm too comfortable. I don't feel like changing. Especially when it's cold out because we had some snow here in Atlanta. So that's one of the tips is just put your workout clothes on. Put them on in the morning. Sleep in them if you have to. Because that's a tip. Put your sneakers, put your things by the door. Have your stuff packed. And there's something really cool. It's called hooking. Hooking your habits, hook, is, say for example, you're going to go do an errand. Combine something with that. Like go to the gym every time you go and get your coffee, something like that. It's called hooking habits. Because that's the trick, right? Is to really find ways to hook things to other things that you're already doing. So that's what I wanted to talk about there, which is you're not always going to feel like it. You're just not. A lot of times you're not going to feel like it at all. And you're going to do it anyway. Why? Why are you going to do it anyway? Because you're worth it. You're worth it. Your dreams, you feeling better, you're worth it. You're worth it. Yes, I'm a little puff. And you know what's funny is I'm a small person. I just look jacked because I competed a couple weeks ago in bikini and I won. I won't even tell you how old I am. Some of you may know, but I competed in a bikini competition. So that's how I know what grit is. Because a lot of people my age, they fall apart. I had this lady, I just got 2 new tires on my car today. And I was in the place where you get your tires done. And there was a woman that worked there. And I swear to God, she was younger than me. And it seemed like she was going to die. Like she was hacking and she was coughing and she was dragging herself around. And it broke my heart. It broke my heart that she gave up on herself and she's younger than me. You know, you're just not lazy. You're not lazy. You're just, oh, come on. You're like, I'm almost the same age as you, dude. So, okay. So that is about motivation. Now, I'm going to answer a couple more questions. And you guys make sure you ask questions in the chat, all right? Okay, hold on one second here. I had a bunch of questions written down and now I can't find them, of course. How do I stay motivated? That was one of them that someone asked. Okay. Do you ever feel like you want to quit? Ever feel like you want to quit? And this is the time right now in this month where people stop going to the gym. And right outside of my gym, right outside of my condo here, I look out at the gym in my building. And right around the beginning, I was like, gosh, everyone's there. You know, I can't go over there and do my cardio because everyone's like working out. And then now I look over there. There's no one in there. What is today? January 13th, and people are already bailing on themselves. It's very disappointing. There is a drop. It's like January 23rd. But the thing is that if you've created your habits, it really makes a big difference. So a couple things that I want to talk about as far as injury prevention, because a lot of people have injuries. Just because you have like a sore back or a hurt knee or you have an injury, you can always work around an injury. Always. There's always exercises that you can do. So you can figure out, there are all different kinds of exercises. For example, a lot of times people who have bad, hurt knees, it's just like their ankles are super tight or their glutes are weak or their hips aren't flexible. And I just got this really cool thing I'm going to show you. So now I'm competing again in July. I have a big show in July. I want to get my pro card, okay? So this thing is like a massage stick. It looks like a weapon. Hi-ya! Hi-ya! And my new coach told me that what I have to do before I work my lower body is I got to roll out my fascia. So I have to work on my hamstrings, glutes, and my quads with this weapon. And I'm telling you right now, this really helps. Why? Because sometimes when you have a less developed body part or something that's injured or has soreness, it's because you have something above or below it that's super tight. So if you have knee problems, if you're listening to me right now and you're like, oh, you're talking to me, my knees kill. Usually means that you have tight ankles, weak glutes, or tight hips. So the things you got to work on around that joint that hurts, say for example, just saying knee, is work on flexibility of your ankles. Up and down on the stairs. Circle your ankles left and right. Okay? If your glutes are weak, you work on firing up those glutes. Do hip circles both ways. Flexibility and strength go hand in hand, you guys. I know it's really hard especially for men. Men are like, oh, I don't work on flexibility. You can only be as strong as you are flexible. And I'm not saying like you need splits and all that, but getting your body prepped for movement is going to prevent injury. And that's why I can be my age and be healthy, because I don't have any injuries. You know, I'm pretty healthy. My shoulder's a little sore though, I have to tell you, from lifting for my show. But anyway, so back to this thing. This was cheap. I got this at Aldi's, but they sell them on Amazon or whatever. But it's like a kind of a rubbery plastic, and you just like rub your quads. Like I've been rubbing my quads and my hamstrings and my IT band all over that. This is how I prepare myself to get stronger, even when I don't feel like it. I don't think you could, Simon. Or probably you could. But anyway, so that's that. I just want to talk about that a little bit more. So if you have an injury, again, I'm just going to stress this. Work around that injury. Don't let that injury prevent you from not showing up for yourself, right? You are worth it. Work around that injury. It doesn't mean as injury is an excuse. You got to keep working. You got to get gritty, okay? So follow me, and you guys can check it out. Like a couple, 3 weeks ago, I did my competition, my bikini competition. You can see pictures of my earlier, my show, what killed it. But I also have weaknesses. I have to build up. I have to get stronger in certain parts of my body. Bodybuilding is about building up your weaknesses, and you have to be gritty. And you can apply that to anything. You can apply it to any part of your life. Whether you want to have better relationships, you want to have more money, you want to be fit, you want to have better anything. You got to get gritty and dig deeper, because your present you isn't going to get you where you want to go. Does that make sense? It's not gonna. You got to keep growing. So we're going to talk a little bit about fitness, a little bit more about fitness, and then we'll go from there. So one of the things that I want to talk about with fitness is body working as you age, in particular, about how you work strength training. Now, a lot of the science has been shifting and changing, but there's some principles that are the same. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what the basic principles are. So one of them is a lot of people talk about working, you know, like a push-pull or body parts, you know, like that bodybuilding breakdown. It doesn't really matter how you do it, as long as you work through the whole body, right? So you want to make sure that you are working different body parts, and you want to stay strong on all different areas. You don't want to avoid parts that are weak. You want to work on those too, so your body is symmetrical. So it's not just about symmetry about how you look. It's also symmetry in how you move through life. You don't want to have a big upper body and no legs, right? You want to be able to be strong in your lower body in case you got to run away from, I don't know, boogeyman. So you got to make sure that your body's symmetrical. Ideally, you want 10 to 15 reps, you know, on certain exercises. Doing 1 rep max is cool for like, a lot of younger people do 1 rep max. It's good to know maybe what your 1 rep max is, but you have a lot more tendency to get injured if you just do 1 rep max. So I would say shoot for 8 to 12 or 10 to 15 reps on your exercises. 2 to 3 sets at the beginning of each exercise. And as you get more experience, 3 to 4 of each exercise. And warming up with a couple of warm-up sets is key. And it's really important there's a word that I use a lot. I used to own a gym. I used to be a trainer. I don't train now. I'm a speaker, and I am a high-performance coach. And I coach a lot of men and women, and how to handle mindset and how to be more gritty, right? And one of the things that I used to talk about a lot when I used to be a trainer is working through the body, and it's something called proprioception. It's how your mind and your body work together. And when you first start working out, it's not natural to feel like, oh, okay, I feel where that's working. But as you continue on and you do it more often, you're like, oh, wow, I feel that. I feel like in my mind, I feel this in my body. So you can channel energy into the different body parts to make sure that you're getting a pump, make sure you're feeling strong and being balanced. So those are the things I wanted to share. There is a lot of people at the gym that are just trying to impress, right? That's absolutely true. There are some people in the gym that are just like, oh, I want to lift heavies for the girls or whatever else. And one of the things is that it was a little bit crazy is that, my God, people are just sitting on their phones. And so I would say if you're one of those people, put your phone down and get your sets in, because it's a phenomena. And you don't think how long, you don't really know how long you're on your phone, but you really only want a minute between sets, maybe a minute and a half if you're going heavy. But if you're going light, you could be supersetting, or 45 seconds in between, not 2, 3, 4. You don't have time to respond to, go through all your Instagram accounts or whatever, TikTok accounts. Hey, if you're at the gym and you're watching me, thank you. Keep watching. But anyway, it's really important that you need to make sure that you're not over resting in between sets, because that's a waste of time at the gym. And you're hogging equipment. Don't be rude. Make sure you put your weights away. It drives me crazy. So I think that's all I want to say about fitness. Unless you have particular questions, I'd be happy to answer them. But what I want to say, just a couple more things around grit, and then if anyone has any questions, just let me know, is that you can develop it. And maybe there's no one in your life that really modeled it for you, and you have to go inward and figure out what is it that you really, really want. What do you really, really want in your heart? What's calling you? And don't deny that, because we're all here to make a difference. And one of the things that I loved, like what's happening in California with the fires, it's bringing out a lot of people to help. What happened in Florida? I was in Florida during the hurricanes, and a lot of people came and they helped each other. And what happened in Asheville? When the hurricanes went up through Asheville, we've had a lot of trauma in our country, even in our country here in America, but, worldwide, obviously. But we have those fires currently going on now and the cleanups of the hurricanes. But it requires people to be helpers. And the helpers are the people that tend to be grittier, people that are willing to step up and step out. It takes great courage to be gritty, and to believe in yourself, and to believe that you're here to make a difference. Yes? So I just want to say to you, I believe in you. I believe in your heart that you're here to make a difference. I believe in your goodness. I do. I really, really do. I love that part about my work as a coach and a speaker, that I get to hear and talk to people deeply and to hold the light for other people. I know it really is sad. I know it's brutal, right? But I think that through hardship, we learn great things. And I've shared before that part of the reason why I do Grit Girl and part of the reason why I still show up is that in 2017, I lost a son to suicide. And it's a big part of my why, is that even through grief, I was gritty, because I knew that it would be disrespectful to my son if I rolled up and just was like, oh, and then died. I died inside, right? That I was here for more to represent him, even though he wasn't living, right? Because he was a cool person. So when you meet me, I feel like it's an obligation that you meet my son too. Does that make sense to you? That we're the ones that are lucky that we're still living, and we still have the ability to bring the gift of this brief life that we share. This moment is just now. That's all we have, is this moment. That's all we're promised. So what are the ways that we can light each other up and support each other, even through hard times? And it's the last thing I want to talk about is suicide. Trust me. I'm a positive person. It's I just, in general, am a pretty positive person, even though I've been through hardship, as we all have, as you have. You've had hard things happen to you. Yes? We all have. It's just the way it is. And yet, are we going to let those hard things harden us? I say no. Let's think about those hard things as opening us up to be kinder, to be more loving, and guess what? Be more gritty. Because you know what? Grit is the foundation of courage. Grit is the foundation of great bravery. Grit is the foundation of greatness, of excellence, of prosperity. Grit is foundational. It really, truly is. I believe it to be true. Because life will knock you over. Life will absolutely knock you over. Yeah, and John, you know what? I do understand with you what you say about the demons, right? But sometimes the demons are just our fear. Sometimes the demons are just our own darkness that we're afraid of, right? And sometimes we get to meet those makers and be like, I got you, right? Yeah, it's crazy. It's totally true. Oh, you guys are the best. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys are muscle mommy. That's me. And you know what's funny? It is in our heads, right? Fear is messy. Fear is like a messy thing. So one of the things that I want to talk about too, because I have like a couple more minutes, but I want to talk about fear because fear is always there. Fear is inevitable. We can't pretend it's not there. Fear is everywhere. It's everywhere, right? Fear is everywhere. And we can either identify the fear and then move forward through it or not, you know? So what is the fear? We all have it. So we're either afraid of that it's going to be too hard. Like we don't want to put in the effort. We're afraid that the outcome's going to suck, that it's not going to be worth it if we do all this effort and then it's going to be not worth it. Or we could be fearful that we're going to lose somebody. We're going to lose someone. Or someone's going to judge us. People are going to judge us for doing something and we mess up or we don't succeed. You know what I mean? So it's inevitable that we have fear. But we also have the ability to transmute fear into like excitement. You can say fear is just me moving through to get to the other side of where my greatness is or who I'm here to serve. You got to figure that out. We can. I'm here for you. So anyway, I love the comments. Like, dudes, really? You're lucky I have 5 brothers and I'm used to it. And I've been worked out in a gym with my whole life. But it's kind of funny. Like, damn. Dude, I'm sorry about your wife. It's totally debilitating when you lose people. It sucks. I get you. Yeah, faith does step in. Abso-friggin-lutely. Yeah. People only remember the bad you do, not really the good. But you know what the thing is, John, about that? Is that the right people are going to find the good. And the part that's crazy about it is that you will have the people in your life who you think are going to be like so psyched for you. Like the people that are closest to you, you're like, they're going to be so psyched I'm succeeding. Guess what? Nope. No. The people who oftentimes are closest to you don't want you to change because they like things status quo. Because if you change, what does that mean for them? That they'll have to change. They don't want to change. People in general don't want to change. So you need to be the change agent. If you're watching this right now, it's no accident. Serious. You think you just came on Kate McKay and you're like, who is this lady? Okay, maybe it was that. Hey, follow me, please. But the thing is, though, it's like there's no accidents. And the people that really are there for you, who want the best for you, they're waiting for you on the other side of your fear. And the people that don't want the best for you, bye. And we don't have to do it with hatred. We could be like, wow, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like my sister, I have a sister and she's nasty to me, dudes. Like she's like ridiculous. Like super sending me mean things. And I'm like, what did I ever do to you? And I was just like, I wish you well. Like, I could easily go rogue on her, but like, how would that add value to me? What? She must already feel bad about herself to send her sister things that are so rude and so nasty. So rude. And I'm like, Who does that? So sometimes it's people that you supposedly supposed to love you that treat you like crap, especially when you've been called, especially when you have a calling in your heart to help and be honest. Misery, like, yeah, it's so true, dude. That's so true. What's going up with Louisville, Kentucky? Yeah, but you know what? The thing is about jealousy, it's so wasted, don't you think? Because it's like, envy's cool. Like if someone does something or it has something that you're like, oh, I'm envious of them or I'm jealous of them, use it as friggin' fuel. Don't use it as like a way to take down people. I just don't get that. And you know what? I don't ever want to understand that. Do you guys know what I mean? Like if we understand what makes people dark, then we become that. I don't want to understand. I don't very rarely ask why. I'm like, whoa, that's sad. You know what I mean? Like I can't attach to it because it doesn't add value to me. It doesn't. Because if I was like, took it personal, you know, it hurts my feelings. It does. But at the same time, it's like, it's not really anything to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So I know you probably have people in your life that don't want what's best for you. And it's weird. But what I can promise you, I promise you, on the other side of that are people that are like, dude, I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you. What you told me or what you shared with me or how you supported me changed my life. I swear. It's wild. And this is another thing I want to share with you. That when I'm doing my bikini competitions and everyone's like, what's she doing? That's so weird, right? Or when I'm writing a book, or the way even I grieve when I lost my son. People are like, how can she be still talking and being out and about? I was a public figure. People knew who I was. Was I just going to roll up in a ball? No. Hell to the no. No, because that would be disrespectful to my kid, like I said. So people did not like that because they want to have you respond in a way that they think they would respond to give them permission to check out. I don't want to check out. What are you watching? You're watching me. Dojo. It's Kate McKay, the grit girl. We're talking about all things gritty. We're talking things real. Real stuff. Real stuff. So anyway, I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys have. I wicked appreciate you commenting and sharing. Wicked, you can clearly, I'm from Boston originally, yes. But I really appreciate you sharing. It's important that we have community where we can share. And again, I just want to say to you again, before I finish, is that I'm here for you. If you feel like you're alone right now, I'm here for you. We have a community here for you, and you're not alone. And a lot of people feel alone. And it's weird because here we have all of this thing. We have all of this, you know, we have like social media, but people are lonely. People feel lonely and they feel adrift, right? And I believe that the cure is to create community. It's in our community that we create the bridge between us so that we can be stronger. We need each other, you know? Makes sense? I know. I'm not really a Patriots fan. I never really was a spectator sport person that much. Kind of weird. And I still like talk about Drew Bledsoe. And I know Brady and I know all these things, but it's like, yeah, it's like I'm not really too much into spectator sport. I mean, I know enough, but if you ask me about the Olympia, maybe I'd know more in bodybuilding worlds because that's a little bit more my space. I'm a nerd. I'm a neuroscience nerd. But anyway, yeah, so y'all, you're not alone. I'm here for you. I believe in you. And in your longing, in what's being called in your heart is the place that you're here to serve. And you're going to dig that out because I can promise you this. There are people waiting for you. And you're going to be surprised at the people that are like, oh, damn, when you did that, I watched that and that inspired me that I could do it too. You may not know that now, but people are watching you. And you can inspire people just by your actions. And people won't tell you right off the bat. And there'll be people at the beginning that are going to try to knock you down. Keep going. Keep moving forward. Because we need warriors, men and women, to rise together. So stay gritty. I love you all very much. I'm so grateful that you've joined me. I'm Kate McKay, the Grit Girl. I'll be back next Monday to talk more on grit, answer more of your questions. And I'm going to figure out how to bring people on so that we can build community together, because I'll be fun. And just be appropriate, though. I see some weird things. I'm like ready to read it out loud. I'm like, oh, damn, I can't say that out loud. But anyway, big love to all of you. I appreciate you. Sending you courage. Sending you bravery that you're here and that you know that you're here to do great things. And I love you. And you're not alone. And I believe in you. And you're more powerful than you know. And last thing, the best is yet to come. Truly. Big love. Peace. Until next time, stay gritty. See you next Monday, 6 o'clock. And be well. I'll talk to you soon. Get in the gym and lift some weights, all right? All right. Peace.